Tonight on the Northwestern News Report, signing on to strike. What actions graduate students say they'll take if their demands are not met.
Then tapping the trees, why you might see solar panels and maple syrup taps across Northwestern's campus.
And crafting kindness, how one group is hoping to spread smiles through cards.
All that and more tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
It's your news
right now. Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Gabrielle Coriati.
And I'm Alexia Cadota-Browner. The Northwestern University Graduate Workers Union, or NUGW, is in the final stage of negotiations with the university. Both sides are set to meet tomorrow for bargaining negotiations. As NNN's Jeremy Fredericks reports, this comes amidst threats of a strike from NUGW.
Tomorrow, Northwestern and the Graduate Workers Union will meet for bargaining negotiations over compensation.
There's still a gap between the university's proposal and the union's proposal.
NUGW and NU have tentatively agreed on 29 of the union's 33 proposals. The final 4 proposals are among the most difficult. More than 1,800 grad students, a majority, have signed on to a strike pledge.
Our goal is never to go on strike just for the sake of striking.
NUGW is calling for an annual compensation of $48,000, up from the current rate of $37,000, but still short of NU's most recent offer of $41,000 per year.
More pay, more say.
NU wants any compensation increase to start next fall, which is not soon enough for NUGW members.
We've heard from many of our members that they need relief, they need a raise now.
Visas for international students are also set to be negotiated tomorrow. Currently, F1 and J1 visas that allow international students to study in the U.S. are not covered by the university.
It will cost more than $500 for an international students to just come to the U.S.
A new NUGW proposal calls for the university to contribute $150,000 toward visas, something that bargaining committee members hope will draw in new international grad students.
We have asked for a reasonable amount of increase on our stipend and also asked for more support to international students.
In a statement to NNN, Northwestern says, "We are committed to supporting, mentoring, and preparing graduate students for future success."
Hey, ho, our expectations got to go. Hey.
Jeremy Fredericks, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Jeremy. Stay tuned on our social media for any updates at tomorrow's meeting.
Yesterday, Northwestern President Michael Schill announced the formation of a Committee on Free Expression and Institutional Speech. According to a news release, the panel is made up of professors from across Northwestern's many schools. Schill has tasked the committee with proposing a statement on free expression that reflects Northwestern's values. This includes determining what boundaries should exist related to free expression and academic freedom amongst Northwestern students, faculty, and staff. Schill has also asked the committee to evaluate when it's appropriate for the university to make statements about political, social, or international matters. The announcement comes as the school has faced criticism from students, faculty, and alumni over the university's statements in response to the Israel-Hamas war and student demonstrations.
Some of those displeased with the university's response to the Israel-Hamas war include faculty, staff, and graduate students. In January, a chapter of Educators for Justice in Palestine was formed on Northwestern's campus. NNN's Aria Wozniak is here to tell us more about this newly established group.
A new chapter called Educators for Justice in Palestine formed on campus and began meeting last month. Over 200 Northwestern faculty, staff, and graduate students have already joined.
It's about developing the resources that people can use to make sense of the world in all these different disciplines. And that's not for one and against another.
Many Northwestern faculty and staff joined the group to work together exploring new solutions to the ongoing violence in the Middle East. In December, 251 Northwestern faculty, staff, and graduate students signed a statement in support of Students for Justice in Palestine. Now, these community members say EJP offers them a support network, ensuring a safe space for expression regardless of faith background.
It's very important to realize that our work in Educators for Justice in Palestine is separate from our work as university professors. So we're not necessarily taking these commitments into the classroom and turning them into some kind of political statement.
EJP's press release states they are committed to practices of accountability, open dialogue, and sustained learning.
Part of the role of education is to think creatively, to think historically, to think critically, and to have those tools for being able to express yourself both orally and in writing in a way that allows people to have conversations that are really difficult.
EJP urges people to visit their website to learn more about the conflict and to get involved through events hosted by Northwestern and local organizations. Aria Wozniak, Northwestern News Network.
Thank you, Aria. EJP has a number of resources, experts, and events posted on their website at nuejp.org.
In separate news, NU's Kellogg School of Management announced the creation of a Center for Enlightened Disagreement this past Wednesday. The new research facility will focus on, quote, developing stronger and better ways to engage in diverse perspectives, according to a news release. Kellogg professors Noor Kataili and Eli Finkel will co-direct the center. Kataili already has similar experience as a research co-director for Kellogg's Dispute Resolution Research Center. The Center for Enlightened Disagreement will act to educate NU students on different perspectives and understanding human motivations through an advanced curriculum.
Northwestern College feminists created a new solidarity and survivorship collective. NNN's Gabriel Bernick shares how the group hopes to create a community for survivors on campus.
Adrienne Scheid is a co-activism chair of Northwestern College Feminist. This year, she's leading the new Solidarity and Survivorship Collective.
It's also meant to be, more than anything, a community space where people can have sort of like the mutual understanding that there are people in the room with similar experiences to them.
For Valentine's Day, they hosted crafts, letter writing, and Valentine's themed snacks.
There aren't really as many student-led survivor-centered spaces on campus, and I think that would have been helpful to me. We definitely have some wonderful resources, and I don't want to undermine that at all, that have been super helpful and amazing to people.
Northwestern Center for Awareness, Response, and Education, or CARE, is a confidential space for students impacted by sexual violence. They host trauma support groups, sexual health consults, and prevention programs. But some students feel it's important to have community-centered spaces for survivors.
There's this phrase that's like really popular, we keep each other safe, and I think that's really relevant to survivorship because it's not really the system that's going to help us, it's each other. So making sure to look out for your friends at all times is really important.
Working on promoting visibility and communication for survivors at NU. Gabriel Bernick, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Gabriel. The Solidarity and Survivorship Collective meets on the third Sunday of every month. Coming up, why do South Campus trees now have solar panels? We'll find out after the break.
Ready, set, now!
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
A new business just opened in Evanston, combining cannabis and a classic cafe. NNN's Paris Franzway has more on the unique collaboration.
Westtown Bakery and OK Cannabis launched a new location together on the corner of Chicago and Howard.
We're always looking for new coffee spots to try out and then go back there and get some edibles.
Pairing pot with pastries isn't unheard of. The South Evanston joint is the third bakery dispensary combination in Illinois.
People, smoke some weed, they're going to get the munchies, they're going to want a donut, right?
The partnership between the independent conventional bakery and recreational dispensary aims to normalize legal cannabis use.
We're just selling normal stuff. Again, just like the normal pot that we had back at the house.
And end the stigma associated with the drug.
It's really acknowledging a segment of our society that has been for so long disenfranchised, unacknowledged, pushed out.
If you purchase cannabis here at OK, 3% gross sales tax will go towards the Evanston Reparations Fund.
There's something to be said about the first social equity dispensary in Evanston contributing to the first reparations program in the country.
But some have concerns about the reparation fund's transparency.
Because we'll never know how much money is actually coming in. And that's not the fault of the dispensaries, it's a state law. You have to have a certain amount of dispensaries in Evanston before they can reveal the actual dollar amount coming in.
In addition to their contributions to reparations, the dispensary is currently focused on building community and elevating the dispensary experience.
And so we really wanted to add more of a personal element, add some warmth to the environment.
Changing the narrative around recreational cannabis consumption. Paris Franzway, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Paris. You have to be 21 to enter OK Cannabis, but Westtown Bakery welcomes people of all ages and is completely weed-free.
If you've seen any solar panels on campus or bottles tapped to trees, you might be wondering why. Well, it just so happens the two are linked. NNN's Allison Miller shines light on this sappy situation.
What do solar energy and maple syrup have in common? The data they help produce can be used as an indicator of climate change. Several trees on South Campus are now equipped with solar panels. They're being used in Professor Eli Suzakovich's Maple Syrup and Climate Change course.
Trees are really the primary storytellers of the class.
The panels power sap tracking sensors from Northwestern's involvement in an urban integrated field laboratory called Crocus, community research on climate and urban science.
And it just happened to work out that Crocus was setting up here for the first time as an experiment. I'm doing my thing, and it just happened to collide.
This technology is brand new to the 7-year-old class. It'll allow students to see the internal sap flow rates of the trees.
Modelers can use that information to estimate how much that tree might affect the temperature on the ground.
They can track how much liquid is flowing through the maples, important for estimating the climate impact of local trees.
So we have to look at sugar content. We have a little tool to check that. We have to look at drops per second, which I'll do like drops per minute and then divide.
The goal for Crocus? Use this local data for far-reaching solutions.
Trees and other vegetation can be used to enhance, say, to provide cooling or to help control flooding.
Tall trees, big impact. Allison Miller, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Allison. For those interested, Professor Eli Suzakovich's Maple Syrup and Climate Change course is offered winter quarter each year.
Now it's time for Under the Microscope, where we give you the latest science and research news at Northwestern University. Northwestern scientists have found a possible way to fight cancer using cancer itself. By studying mutations in T cells that cause lymphoma, researchers found one that has successfully killed tumors in the skin, lung, and stomach of mice, as compared to current immunotherapies that only work against cancers found in the blood and the bone. Working with the Parker Institute for Cancer Immunotherapy, scientists hope to begin testing this on people in the next few years. And Northwestern University researchers have found a link between a gene previously thought to only impact immune cells with muscle and strength. The gene BCL6 is fundamental for skeletal tissues and the body's immune response. Using mice, Dr. Grant Barish, the lead author of the study, tested the difference between the mice with and without the gene, noticing significant muscle loss in mice without the gene. Researchers hope to use this information to help with disease states, quality of life, and mortality.
For a Floridian like myself, it feels wrong to call February temperatures in the 50s warm. But here in Evanston, it's been a lovely break from the bitter cold of typical Midwest winters. NNN's Madison Morgan is here to tell us if the 50s are here to stay.
As y'all can currently see, the sun is setting, leaving the nice temperature that we had earlier today. It is currently partly cloudy with an air temperature of 35 degrees. There's a wind speed south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Grab a light jacket for tomorrow as there's an expected high of 56 degrees, maybe just a sweater. Then from night into Thursday, we see temperatures reach a high of 46 degrees with some sun. Winds are projected to be in the teens and 20s throughout the week. These temperatures are a start to the shift from winter to spring, but don't forget, Evanston winter is not over yet. Back to you guys in the studio.
It's not beach weather just yet, but I'll definitely go on a Lakeville walk this Sunday. Thanks, Madison.
After nearly a century, Northwestern football's home is being torn down. Demolition on the old Ryan Field is officially underway. The process began earlier this month after a delay in obtaining a demolition permit pushed the start date back from January. So far, crews have demolished the southern corner of the stadium, including the bleachers that students occupied on Saturdays in the fall. The parking lot on the east side of the stadium has been closed for the project, and Northwestern has agreed to a deal with North Shore Hospital to use parking spaces in the hospital's garage further east on Central Street. The new Ryan Field is scheduled to finish construction by the start of football season in 2026. Up next, Pink Day and how Northwestern group Charcheret spread awareness. Stick around, we'll be right back.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
Charcheret is a Jewish breast cancer organization that helps women and their families in their fight with breast cancer. Charcheret's annual Pink Day came to Northwestern for the very first time last week. NNN's Lena Peterson explores what makes this day so important.
Charcheret's Pink Day came to Northwestern for the first time on Valentine's Day, wearing pink for breast cancer awareness and painting the rock for an important cause. Sylvie Slotkin is Northwestern's Charcheret Student Ambassador.
Pink Day is a day to really raise awareness for breast cancer. It's on Valentine's Day, so it's a day where people are wearing pink anyway.
Sharing resources for support groups, education about testing, and a safe space to heal with the community.
I think seeing so many people come by and getting the chance to tell them about why we're here, what we're here for, who we're here for.
A day that means so much to so many women.
I have a bunch of strong women in my family had breast cancer, and all are here to tell the story.
Informing Northwestern students about a meaningful cause to support.
I think that the Northwestern community should rally around Pink Day because breast cancer awareness is important, and raising awareness is a key aspect of ensuring that proper preventative measures can take place.
And while Charcheret may be new to campus, Slotkin says they're just getting started.
But I'm hoping that for future years, more people on campus are involved with Sharshara and know about Sharshara.
Thinking pink for those battling breast cancer. Lena Peterson, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Lena, for highlighting that important cause. Gabrielle?
More than 500 students celebrated Mega Shabbat at Ryan Fieldhouse on Friday. NNN's Mila Branson has more on the largest Shabbat in Northwestern history. For religious reasons, organizers asked that all video be filmed prior to sundown.
Food, friends, and festivities brought students together to celebrate Mega Shabbat on Friday.
Bringing together both the Hillel and Chabad communities, as well as bringing non-Jewish students into the space and into the Shabbat atmosphere.
The event, sponsored by Northwestern Hillel and Chabad, moved from Norris University Center to Ryan Fieldhouse this year to host more students.
We could only fit up to 400 students, and those were separated between 3 rooms, and so we really wanted to get, everyone in one room.
Table captains recruited both Jewish and non-Jewish students to participate, expanding the weekly Shabbat experience to a larger community.
It's about showing the rest of Northwestern, the non-Jewish part of Northwestern, what the Jewish community is all about.
The event included optional Shabbat services, a mocktail hour with a performance by Jewish a cappella group Shireinu, and dinner on the turf. Table captains also led prayers during the event.
And it was fun to teach them about the traditions of Shabbat and give them a bit of an introduction into Jewish culture.
Although Shabbat is a weekly celebration for many members of the Jewish community, Northwestern Hillel President Sari Eisen said the larger event builds enthusiasm among students.
Come for the food, come for the friends, and just be there for the community aspect of it.
This year's Mega Shabbat turning into a mega success. Mila Branson, Northwestern News Network.
Northwestern Hillel and Chabad will continue to host weekly Shabbat services and dinner for all Northwestern students.
Northwestern Hillel announced that Emmy, Golden Globe, and Academy Award-winning actress Marlee Matlin will be their celebrity speaker. Matlin is known for her roles in films such as Coda and Children for a Lesser God. For the latter, she became the youngest actress to win an Academy Award, as well as the first deaf performer to win. The event takes place in the Kahn Auditorium on Tuesday, March 5th at 7 p.m. Registration is available through the QR code currently on the screen.
Ash Wednesday marked the beginning of Lent last week. Some students received not just ashes, but glitter as well at Northwestern's Gender and Sexuality Resource Center. NNN's Fiona Bolzan has more on how the event celebrates faith and identity.
Northwestern's Gender and Sexuality Resource Center and Department of Religious and Spiritual Life held a Glitter and Ashes event last week for Ash Wednesday. The event sought to provide a space for LGBTQ students to express both their faith and identities.
And so it's about resisting, perhaps being told that you're not welcome in certain spaces, really embracing the sacredness and holiness of our bodies, however we might show up in the world.
Students stopped by throughout the morning to receive both glitter and ashes.
There was a period in my young adulthood where I kind of was conflicted because once I came out as bisexual and I grew up as Catholic, I thought that they were very separate identities.
The event also focused on representation in religious spaces.
I think it's really helpful, again, just to have representation. A lot of folks perhaps have never received ashes from a woman, never received ashes from a Black woman, never received ashes from a Black queer woman.
Many students felt the event's message resonated with their experiences.
Intersecting glitter and ashes, I thought it was a really good way of even just a visual representation, like the glitter representing my identity, and also just the ashes connecting me to my faith in the season of Lent.
Creating an environment for students' faith and identities to shine. Fiona Bolzan, Northwestern News Network.
For other events hosted by the Gender and Sexuality Resource Center, you can visit their website at northwestern.edu/GSRC.
From Sunday brunch to transcontinental slip and slide, last Friday's open mic night showcased student artists and bands who have been hard at work creating their own music. NNN's Rachel Spears is here to share the sounds and songs from the event.
Over 75 students came out to an open mic event in Harris Hall, a collaboration between SWAN, Songwriters Association at Northwestern, and NU Nights, featuring 12 acts that varied in genre and style.
I think what I hope from this event is people see that there's a lot more creativity that was hidden, and we've allowed a platform for them to share that.
Members of both student groups hope that events like this one get more students interested in NU's music scene.
There's not a lot of places on campus that generate events for musicians like me to have a chance to perform my work.
For some of the performers, songwriting is a creative outlet that enables them to express their thoughts and emotions about topics such as love and mental health.
I do data science, so artistic stuff is not something that I encounter very frequently in academia, and so I jump on the chance to express myself in other ways.
Audiences had the opportunity to hear some familiar songs as well as original songs that have yet to be released.
I'm going to show the audience our range, so we do a lot of different genres, and it's a song that I haven't released yet, nobody's heard it before, so I'm really excited for that.
And the artists love getting to perform their songs.
I just have fun. I try to put a lot of energy into it.
Sharing stories through song, Rachel Spears, Northwestern News Network.
For more information about late night programming on campus or the Student Songwriting Association, follow at NU_Nights and Swan_NU on Instagram. February 17th was National Random Acts of Kindness Day. In just 60 seconds, we have the story on how one organization used cards to craft kindness.
1, 2, 3, 4.
February 17th was National Random Acts of Kindness Day. One campus organization celebrated by giving back. NNN's Victoria Ryan has more on one event and what it means to the Northwestern community.
With patterned papers and colorful markers, a card-making event in Norris on Thursday celebrated kindness and community.
It was open in my schedule when I looked ahead and I booked it because I was like, that just seemed like such a cool opportunity to do something fun and also lovely.
The cards made here will go to Cards for Hospitalized Kids, a national program that gives them to children when they arrive at the hospital. This event was held by the Masters of Science in Education program, or MSED.
This was a project that I used to do with 8th graders when I was a middle school teacher, and they always really loved the opportunity to craft together, but craft for a cause. So we thought it'd be a fun event to bring here.
Giving students a break from midterms to craft and a chance to reflect on what kindness means to them.
Looking to do good in the world for the people in your life, for the people that aren't necessarily in your life, but just to do good.
Kindness is about being part of a community of care. So how do we express care for others? How do we express care for ourselves, our community, and really just think of our commitment to care.
This event also bringing attention to the MSED program, which has been facing low enrollment. Stathakis hopes the event will get more students interested in the program.
I think there's a great need for teachers in the United States, and we are really excited to continue to partner with students and people outside of Northwestern to really raise awareness about the important work that teaching is.
Spreading joy and kindness one card at a time. Victoria Ryan, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Victoria. To send cards of your own, visit cardsforhospitalizedkids.com. Alexia, it's really special to see so many Northwestern students giving back to the community.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like students here do have really busy schedules, but it's nice to know that there's plenty of student organizations, philanthropic things to get involved with, just ways to give back is super awesome.
Definitely finding that time amidst the midterms and exams and all the projects to give back to the community.
I feel like it's like a stress relief as well.
No, it definitely is, especially when you get to put some arts and crafts in with it. And that's all the time we have for tonight on the Northwestern News Report. I'm Gabrielle Coriati.
And I'm Alexia Cadota Browner. Have a wonderful evening and good night.